Has it ever happened that someone says or does something and you immediately feel anger, frustration, or irritation? Would you like to be immune to those negative emotions and maintain calm no matter what happens around you? Imagine living without anything or anyone having the power to throw you off balance. A state of mind where insults, criticisms, and complicated situations no longer affect you as before. Seems impossible, right? But the enlightened ones achieved it, and today I'm going to reveal how you can achieve it too. In this video, you'll discover a Buddhist principle that, if applied, will completely transform how you react to life's challenges. You'll learn to observe things from a different perspective, one that will allow you to free yourself from anger definitively. Best of all, you don't need years of training or to isolate yourself on a mountain to master it. It's simple yet powerful, something the wise Buddhist masters used to achieve unbreakable peace. But there's a crucial detail almost no one mentions, and that's the real secret. Stay until the end, because I guarantee that after watching this video, nothing will bother you in the same way again. Now, I have a challenge for you. Before we continue, go to the comment section and write, "I will never be angry about anything or with anyone." This simple yet significant act is the first step towards your total transformation. Now, let's begin. Strategy 1. Recognize you cannot control others. The root of many of our angers and disappointments lies in a false belief. The idea that others should behave as we want them to. We expect people to treat us with courtesy, to be fair, to understand us, to act with gratitude. But the reality is that each individual has their own worldview, their own emotions and decisions, and you have no control over that. Buddhist teachings emphasize that we can only manage our own actions and thoughts, nothing more. If you live expecting others to change for you to be at peace, you condemn yourself to an existence full of disillusionment. But if you shift your focus and accept that each person is free to act as they wish, and that you also have the power to choose how to respond, then you reclaim your inner authority. Imagine someone yells at you or criticizes you unfairly. You could lose control and react with fury, or you can remind yourself, "I cannot control what this person says or does, but I do have mastery over my response." Instead of getting angry, you choose to remain calm. Your peace no longer depends on anyone but yourself. Giving up trying to control others frees you. It allows you to release the burden of resentment and annoyance. It helps you accept people as they are, without unrealistic expectations. And above all, it grants you the serenity of knowing that even if the world is in chaos, your mind remains firm, serene, and undisturbed. Before we continue, I would appreciate it if you could like and share this video so it reaches many more people. And if you don't want to miss any of my future content, subscribe and turn on notifications. Strategy 2. Don't take anything personally. One of the biggest mistakes we make is believing that what others say or do is a reflection of our worth. When someone insults us, rejects us, or treats us coldly, we feel like we are being directly attacked. But the truth is this: others' behaviors have nothing to do with you, but with themselves. Each person acts from their personal history, their wounds, their ideas, and their emotions. If someone is rude, it's probably not because you deserve it, but because that person is struggling with something within themselves. If someone criticizes you without reason, that reflects their inner world, not yours. When you understand this, you stop interpreting things as personal attacks and begin to see them for what they truly are: manifestations of the other's emotional and mental state. Imagine someone yells at you for no reason. You could react with anger and return the same energy, or you can stop and ask yourself, "Does this really have to do with me?" In most cases, the answer is no. Their attitude is a result of their frustration, their fears, their internal conflicts. It has nothing to do with you. Taking things personally robs you of your tranquility. Every negative comment becomes a wound. every gesture of disdain an offense. But when you choose not to absorb others' negativity, you become immune to it. Strategy 3. Question the usefulness of your anger. Anger is an intense emotion. It makes us feel powerful. It gives us the illusion of control. But does it really serve any purpose? The next time you feel irritated, ask yourself a key question. Will getting angry change anything? If the answer is no, then you'll notice that your anger is nothing more than an unnecessary expenditure of energy. Think about it. How many times have you been angry about something and after a while realized it wasn't worth it? Perhaps you argued with someone, broke objects in a fit of rage, or said words you later regretted. And in the end, nothing changed, except your stress level and remorse. Buddhist teachings guide us not to be swept away by destructive emotions. It's not about repressing them, but about evaluating whether they truly benefit us or not. Imagine someone insults you. You could explode in anger, but that will only make you lose your calm. Now, if instead of reacting impulsively, you ask yourself, will my anger improve this situation? The answer will be clear: no. So why give power to something that brings nothing valuable? Anger is like a fire. It burns everything in its path. But when you learn to redirect your energy towards solutions instead of feeding your rage, you become truly strong. Instead of exhausting yourself with what you cannot change, use your strength to focus on what you can improve. Every time you feel fury beginning to dominate you, pause and ask yourself, is it really worth it? If the answer is no, let it go. Your peace is worth far more than a fleeting impulse. Strategy 4. Learn to pause before reacting. The difference between a person dominated by their emotions and someone who manages them lies in a small detail: the pause before acting. Anger is impulsive. It pushes us to act without thinking, to say things we later regret, to make decisions that only worsen the situation. But when you learn to stop, you gain the power to choose how to respond. When something bothers you, don't respond immediately. Breathe deeply, count to 10 if necessary, and observe the emotion without allowing it to control you. Ask yourself, does this really deserve my anger? What will happen if I react without thinking? How will I feel afterwards? Most of the time, by giving yourself that small space, you realize that the situation was not as serious as it initially seemed. Buddhist mindfulness practices emphasize this self-control. The teachings remind us that it is not external events that disturb us, but our interpretations of them. If someone yells at you, you can take it as a personal attack and respond with rage. Or you can pause, breathe, and realize that the problem is not yours, but the other person's. By stopping before reacting, you avoid falling into the trap of impulse and preserve your power. Emotional control does not consist of repressing what you feel, but of giving it enough space so that it doesn't dominate you. If you make pauses a habit, you'll notice that many situations that used to upset you now simply roll off your back. Not because you don't care, but because you've learned to act with wisdom instead of reacting impulsively. Strategy 5. Remember that everything is impermanent. When something irritates you, it feels as if the world has shrunk to that single problem. Anger takes over your mind, your heart races, and you feel an urgency to react immediately. But here's the truth: no emotion is permanent. Think about the times you've been furious about something that, days later, you barely remember. What seems like a disaster today will be insignificant in a month. Time always puts everything into perspective. So, why let a momentary anger destroy your peace? Buddhist teachings encourage us to contemplate life as a river in constant movement. Nothing remains static, everything flows. Joy, sadness, fury, everything is temporary. The Buddha taught the principle of anicca, or impermanence. All conditioned things are impermanent. Everything changes, nothing lasts. When you feel rage beginning to cloud your judgment, stop and ask yourself, will this problem still matter in a week? In a year? Almost always, the answer will be no. So, is it worth losing your calm over something so ephemeral? Learning to see the impermanent nature of everything frees you. It helps you not to cling to drama, not to allow your emotions to govern your behavior. You are greater than any momentary burst of anger. Every time you feel anger clouding your mind, breathe and repeat, "This too shall pass." Because it always passes. Because everything in life is transient. And when you stop clinging to fleeting emotions, you discover that your inner peace is the only thing that truly matters. Strategy 6. Focus on your values, not your ego. Anger, on many occasions, is a reflection of a wounded ego. We feel offended because someone didn't show us the respect we believe we deserve, because they contradicted us, or because they disregarded our opinion. But there is a truth as hard as it is liberating. Your ego is your worst enemy. Ask yourself, what is more important, proving you are right or acting in accordance with your values? Many people lose their tranquility because they react from pride instead of from wisdom. Buddhist principles teach us not to live to please others, but to remain faithful to our core principles. The Buddha encouraged us to examine our own minds and actions. If someone insults you, ignores you, or criticizes you without justification, is it really worth lowering yourself to their level? Or is it better to maintain composure and act with dignity? When you face a situation that sparks your anger instead of reacting with rage, ask yourself this question: am I acting from my values or from my ego? If your value is patience, practice it. If your principle is integrity, remain firm. When you are guided by values, anger loses its influence over you. At the end of the day, others' opinions change, but your character remains. Let your purpose be greater than your pride. Concentrate on becoming the person you truly wish to be, not on proving anything to anyone, because when you live according to your values, you discover that there is no greater victory than inner peace. Strategy 7. Train your mind daily. Mental fortitude doesn't appear by magic. You can't expect to remain calm in a challenging situation if you've never trained your mind to do so. Self-control is like a muscle. It needs constant practice. Buddhist practitioners don't wait for adversity to strike. They prepare every day. Many meditators, for example, reflect each morning on the challenges they might encounter: insults, obstacles, injustices. By anticipating them, these challenges arrive without startling them or causing anger. You can do the same. Start with small, everyday situations. If you're in a long line and feel impatience, don't feed it. If someone drives aggressively, don't respond with fury. Every daily moment is an opportunity to strengthen your mind. Buddhist monks say they meditate not to be calm in the temple, but to maintain calm in the midst of the storm. That is the true training. Ask yourself this powerful question: how can I use this moment to strengthen my mind? Every time you choose patience over reactivity, every time you decide not to give in to anger, you are developing a more resilient mind. Anger is a reflection of an undisciplined mind. Train it today, every day, in every moment. That way, when a true provocation arises, you will be prepared to face it with absolute serenity. Strategy 8. Surround yourself with people who foster calm. Emotions are contagious. If you surround yourself with negative people, sooner or later, their way of seeing the world will begin to influence you. Anger, complaining, and constant frustration are habits that spread like a virus. Now, think about the opposite. Have you noticed how certain people radiate peace? Being near them is like breathing fresh air. They don't get carried away by impulsivity, they don't react aggressively, and they have the ability to calm others just with their presence. These are the people you need in your life. The Buddha taught, "Associate with the wise, and you will become wise." This doesn't mean abandoning those who are going through difficulties, but learning to set healthy boundaries. If someone is constantly feeding your anger, ask yourself sincerely, is this person helping me grow or dragging me down? Surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better, who inspire you with their calm, who teach by example. Observe how they face setbacks, how they respond to provocation, and how they preserve their peace amidst chaos. And if you don't have such people nearby, seek them out in books, talks, or in history itself. Learn from great Buddhist teachers, from leaders who mastered their emotions, from human beings who transformed adversity into growth. In the end, you become a reflection of those around you. If you wish to be a serene person, draw closer to those who have already cultivated that virtue. Strategy 9. Use humor as a disarming tool. Humor is one of the most powerful tools you possess to avoid falling into anger or frustration. Instead of reacting with anger to a hurtful comment or a complicated situation, why not choose to laugh at life itself, which seems to test you again and again? Buddhist teachings remind us that our reactions are under our control, and humor can be the key to softening what would otherwise be an emotional storm. Imagine someone criticizes you or interrupts you rudely. Your instinctive reaction might be annoyance or resentment. But if you choose to observe the situation with a lighter perspective, you might laugh at how absurd it is. This doesn't mean minimizing what you feel, but understanding that not everything in life needs to be taken so seriously. Laughter not only reduces emotional tension, but also allows you to maintain calm and mental clarity amidst chaos. Mindfulness invites us not to take adversities personally. When we use humor, we transform what could be an attack into an opportunity to preserve inner peace. Laughing at yourself, even in uncomfortable moments, demonstrates enormous emotional strength. It's a way of reminding yourself that you are not defined by what others think or say, but by how you choose to respond. Using humor as a disarming mechanism not only helps you maintain composure, but can also soften relationships with others. Thus, instead of escalating a conflict, you transform any challenging situation into an opportunity to show your true inner strength. Strategy 10. Practice emotional detachment. One of the biggest triggers for anger is attachment. We cling to expectations, outcomes, and people, hoping that everything will happen as we planned. But life, in its unpredictable essence, almost never follows the script we've imagined. When we become excessively attached to something, we become vulnerable to frustration and anger if things don't turn out as we wished. Emotional detachment doesn't mean indifference, but a deep understanding that we cannot control everything. Buddhist principles teach us to be masters of our reactions, not of external events. Practicing detachment is learning to let go of control over what is beyond our grasp and accepting the impermanence of everything around us. Imagine you organized a perfect day. Everything is planned in detail, but something unexpected happens. If you cling to everything going exactly as you wished, that small deviation could make you lose your calm. But if you apply detachment, you'll understand that life has its own rhythm and that sometimes unforeseen events are not enemies, but opportunities to adapt. Detachment grants you freedom. It allows you to experience life without being dragged by every negative emotion. It helps you establish a healthier relationship with your expectations. It's not about desiring nothing, but about not depending on outcomes to maintain inner peace. When you learn to let go of what you cannot control, you will discover a profound serenity and a greater capacity to face any obstacle without losing your calm. Strategy 11. Observe your thoughts before acting. Anger appears when we react without thinking, guided by momentary impulses. Instead of letting emotions dominate us, Buddhist mindfulness invites us to take a step back and observe our thoughts before acting. This simple exercise of awareness can make the difference between losing control and maintaining serenity. When something bothers you, it's easy to fall into the trap of automatic reaction. The emotion flares up, frustration increases, and words or actions emerge without reflection. However, if you pause for an instant to reflect before acting, you can identify whether what you feel has a real basis or if you are simply reacting impulsively. When observing your thoughts, ask yourself, does this incident really deserve so much anger? What do I gain by reacting this way? Many times, by stopping to think, we realize that the reaction is exaggerated and that what affects us does not have a significant long-term impact. This space for reflection is fundamental to prevent anger from taking control of our mind. The Buddha taught about the importance of mindful awareness of thoughts. Just as a skilled craftsman knows the difference between raw wood and polished wood, so too should one know the difference between unskillful and skillful thoughts. Practicing conscious observation of your thoughts allows you to interrupt that storm before it unleashes. Instead of being carried away by it, you can choose how to respond with calm and wisdom. Remember, true control is in your hands. Every time you take a moment to observe, you slow down the impulsive reaction and strengthen your ability to make more rational and less emotionally charged decisions. Thus, you preserve your inner peace and prevent anger from directing your life. Strategy 12. Turn it into a personal practice. Every time life puts you to the test, transform it into an opportunity to demonstrate your inner strength. Instead of perceiving difficult situations as obstacles, see them as personal challenges to maintain calm. This change of focus not only transforms the way you face adversities, but also empowers you by making emotional control a skill that strengthens with practice. Buddhist principles teach us that true strength lies not in avoiding problems, but in how we choose to face them. When something or someone provokes you, instead of automatically reacting with anger or frustration, make serenity your main goal. Every time you feel pressure, remember, this is your moment to practice self-control. Make every stressful situation an opportunity to cultivate your mental peace. Over time, this process becomes a natural habit. At first, it may seem difficult, but the more you face situations that normally upset you, the easier it will be to maintain calm. It's like training a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. By turning it into a personal practice, you transform every moment of tension into an occasion to grow and strengthen your character. This practice allows you to become more aware of your emotions, recognizing them without allowing them to dominate you. It is a powerful reminder that, ultimately, the only real control you have over external circumstances is the way you choose to respond. As you make serenity your greatest strength, you free yourself from the chains of anger and irritation and discover an unstoppable inner peace. We've reached the end of the video, but this is just the beginning of your path to a more serene life. Now you know the Buddhist principle that can help you free yourself from anger and frustration, but the key is to apply it every day. If this teaching has been useful to you, imagine all you can learn in the next video, where we'll explore another Buddhist lesson that will give you even more control over your emotions and your life. Don't miss it. If you like this content, support me with a like and subscribe so we can continue learning together. And if you know someone who gets angry easily, share this video with that person. It might be exactly what they need to find more calm and balance. Leave me a comment telling me what impacted you the most and how you plan to apply this philosophy in your life.